right, let's hit the field.
All right.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Today is Tuesday, July 9th, and the Yankees were in Tampa Bay to take on the Rays in Game 1 of a 3-game set. Carlos Rodon was on the mound, trying to get back to his winning ways. He didn't. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back, kid.
Oh, the misery continues. It's right in front of us, guys. It's right in front of us. Welcome back. Things actually got off to a positive start tonight. For once, we got a base hit from Gleyber Torres, who was back in the lineup in the first inning, and the Yankees took an early lead, and you're thinking, all right, the worm has turned. They needed to get away from home. They needed a day off. They needed Torres back in the lineup. Let's go. But Carlos Rodon quickly dampened the mood by allowing 4 runs before he recorded an out, and the game was over at that point. He is just awful, especially in the first inning. I mean, wow. How many times is this guy going to implode in the first inning of the game? Give us a chance, would you? 2-run home run from Ben Rice tonight. One positive is they did mention the head shaving incident. If you guys want a status update, I'm starting to tan the head a little bit. But, they didn't say the name of the podcast or my name, so that kind of sucks. But they did mention foul territory. Michael Kay said that he would never shave his head under any circumstances. And I'm glad he wouldn't, because there would be a worldwide razor shortage at that point. Just kidding, Michael. You are aces. I thought Cousins looked good tonight. DJ had a couple of hits, so he's got 5 hits in his last 10 at-bats. He looks good. Let's hope he magically finds it like he did last year. But the Yankees lose again, and right now the Orioles are losing, so that's good. They are down. No, they lost. It's 9-2. It's over. So the Orioles. So we didn't lose any ground in the division, but the Red Sox are winning 11-2, and they're sneaking up from behind us. So they're 11-5 in the 6th inning over the Athletics. So let's talk about Carlos Rodon, because he was absolutely terrible. I've been wrong about Rodon a couple of times. The first time that I was wrong was when I wanted the Yankees to sign him in the first place. The second time was this year. I had been skeptical headed into the season. I said, you've got to show it to me. I don't care how much weight you lost. You got to show me that you can do it. And then on June 10th, 1 month ago, tomorrow, I felt like a jerk. I felt wrong because he was 9-2 with a 2.93 ERA. He was overperforming his peripherals, but I was like, you know what? I'm not a big peripherals guy. If you can win, you can win. He was a candidate to pitch in the All-Star game. And that was the second time I was wrong, because I was right the first time when I was skeptical. Since June 10th, he has completely lost it. His numbers and his confidence are both in the toilet. And not like a fine luxury Manhattan toilet, like a gas station toilet in Alabama. That's the kind of toilet they're in right now. Everything is shitty. 4 runs tonight before he could even record an out. 30 pitches in the first inning. I saw a great summation of Carlos Rodon's situation on the Reddit game thread, where Vincenzo716 says, he throws pure cock shots and then lets his emotions eat him alive after he gets pieced. Couldn't have said it better. Could not have said it better. Yankees should call Carlos Rodon into the manager's office, and sitting in that office should be Brian Cashman, Hal Steinbrenner, and maybe a couple of mob-looking dudes. And they should say, Carlos, we understand that you have a no-trade clause, but we also understand that you enjoy having the use of your thumbs. Why don't you do us a favor and sign this little waiver of your no-trade clause, and we'll find someplace else for you to serve up meatballs for the time being. His ERA, which I mentioned was 2.93 a month ago, is now up to 4.63. It was 4.82 after the home run. He did settle back in, and he got through 4 innings. You know, it is easy to keep track of his innings, though, statistically. It only goes up by about 4 per start. But seriously, if he's willing to waive his no-trade clause, I'm telling you guys, we have got to get rid of him. We've seen this before. Kenny Rogers, Jeff Weaver, Javier Vasquez, Carl Pavano, Ed Whitson. Ed Whitson was before my time. I never saw him, but I heard he had the same issue. Sonny Gray, to a degree, although I think the Yankees screwed him up by changing the way he pitched. The guy cannot handle pitching for the Yankees. Full stop. It's a bad fit. If we send him to Seattle, he might win the Cy Young Award, but it's not going to happen with the Yankees. I'm sorry. The Yankees have got to make it a priority to get this guy off the team by the trade deadline. I had a friend in college who I used to play Madden with, and whenever he was kicking my ass, he would say, "You're done. That's my new nickname for Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon. Either that or Alabama outhouse toilet. One or the other. I haven't decided yet. But they got to get rid of him by the deadline. Trade deadline is now 3 weeks from tomorrow. Big name on social media today was Jazz Chisholm. And Ken Rosenthal said emphatically on Foul Territory that Jazz Chisholm will get moved. It's just a matter of where. He did mention the Yankees. He mentioned it would be a fit at second base. Marlins are expected to act sooner rather than later. If the Yankees do pick him up, they'll probably try and trade Gleyber Torres, who got a hit tonight and an RBI, and just put Chisholm back there at second base. Perhaps it's a good thing that Gleyber Torres has begun hitting a little bit better. On two fronts. One, the Yankees need him in the interim, and two, it might raise his trade value a little bit, although not a lot. Excuse me. The question then becomes, can you get anything at all of value for Gleyber Torres? Highly doubtful. Held on to him too long. Should have traded him in the offseason if you were going to move him. But I think they were counting on a big contract season and then let him walk. Another bad move from Brian Cashman. This feels like one of those years where the Yankees might do a little bit of buying, a little bit of selling. But first, they got to do a little bit of winning. Got some bad news before the game. Clayton Beeter could be out for the season. He made his debut earlier this year. He made the opening day roster. He pitched a total of 1 inning and then got sent down before he could make another appearance. And now he's got shoulder issues. And it'll be like a real-life Moonlight Graham if he's unable to make it back to the major leagues. Because shoulder issues are difficult to come back to. Back from, I should say, if you're a pitcher. You hope he does, but look at Steven Ridings a few years ago. Dude absolutely dominated the Orioles through a bunch of 100-plus mile-an-hour fastballs, and then we basically never saw him again. So, all right, chat's filling up over 700. Let's get to the recap, which will be pretty short tonight.
Let's get it going.
Soto walked and Verdugo singled in the top of the first, and then Gleyber Torres, who was back in the lineup, ripped a line drive single to left field. Nice piece of hitting. But it only took Carlos Rodon about 5 pitches to give it back. And then 4 runs in the first inning before he could record an out. Best tweet I saw tonight, Ashley Rodon tweeted, "Yes, Gleyber, way to start the comeback right." And then 3 clap emojis. And then an hour later, Lions fan said, "You forgot Rodon was pitching."
Fucking internet.
The internet is undefeated, my friends. Undefeated. Carlos Rodon was done after 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. He lobbied for an extra inning again. If you want to get that extra inning, Carlos, maybe stop putting us in a hole in the first inning. Maybe stop throwing 30 pitches in the first inning. That might help. I've had it with this guy. I have had it. I'm a patient man. I am a patient man. You know? My wife doesn't have a lot of responsibilities around the house because I work from home and she's a teacher and her life is hard enough. So I use my free time to clean up the house and I do everything. I do a lot of stuff. Her job is the dishes. That's the only thing I ask for because I hate the dishes. I hate soggy food. It makes me feel gross. You know? And she doesn't like to do them. She never does them. And I'm a patient man. I will let that pile get a foot over the sink before I either do it or I ask her, "Hey, could you do the dishes?" I'm a patient man. But I am out of patience with Carlos Rodon. I saw a few people say, "Well, at least he settled down and had a solid outing." No, he didn't. It is impossible to have a solid outing when you give up 4 runs in the top of the first inning. Unless you end up pitching like 8 or 9 innings and your team wins 5-4. Full stop. His first inning ERA is almost 10. Incredible. He forced the bullpen to take over in the 5th inning of the first game of a very important series. Cousins, shout out to Cousins. He pitched pretty well tonight. It remained 4-1 until the top of the 7th when my guy Ben Rice went deep.
That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
Nice piece of hitting. Got a good swing, this kid. 5th home run already. And this one was off of a lefty, which is proof that he can handle them. We saw the good at-bats against Chris Sale, against Max Fried. I say leave him in there against lefties. You know, I think he'll hit them. Rays got another run off of Tommy Kahnle in the bottom of the 8th inning, but the Yankees come up short in the 9th.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Carlos Rodon needs to be Carlos Rogon. I like that, E-Money. That's a good one. I hadn't seen that before. Yankees now 6-17 since June 13th. That is last in Major League Baseball. They are a laughing stock in Major League Baseball right now. They are a joke. The whole rotation has been struggling, and the offense hasn't been helping them out. And the only time the bullpen pitches well is when you're in a huge deficit already. They have got to get it together. I caught some flack today for saying that the Yankees should never have fired Joe Girardi. And they didn't technically fire him. They just didn't, renew his contract. Here's my thing. And this is what I saw someone articulate this, and I hadn't articulated why I like Girardi more than Boone very well. And so I want to give a shout out to this person, but I can't remember their name. I'm sorry. They said that Joe Girardi did more with less than Aaron Boone. And I 100% agree. 100% agree. Joe Girardi did more with less. Did he lose the clubhouse? Maybe. Maybe. But he got the team to the 7th game of the ALCS. He won a championship. The man knew how to manage in New York, and I thought he was a great manager. Now we're seeing more calls for Boone to be replaced. I'm not sure who they can replace him with that will be the right mix of discipline and baseball experience and managing experience. I mean, maybe Alex Cora. Maybe. You're going to be competing for the Dodgers with him. And maybe he wants to stay on the East Coast. He's an East Coast guy right now. Maybe it's Joe Madden. But I don't know if he's got the discipline factor. He had a team with 2 superstars in Shohei and Mike Trout, and they couldn't win. The Yankees are the new Angels, basically. 2 superstars and little else. 3 if you count Garrett Cole, but let's be honest about Garrett Cole. He's at the point in his career where he's going to start declining soon. He's had some injuries this year. I expect, his next few years are going to be worse than his last few years. But the Yankees have 2 prime superstars right now in Judge and Soto. Soto looks to me like he's struggling a little bit. He might be playing hurt. His numbers are not great over the last few weeks. But, it's not good to be compared to the Angels, This is a team that has gotten off to a blistering hot start 3 times in a row. 2 years, sandwiched around the middle year, where last year was a decent start. It was a good start. And then when Judge got hurt, it went downhill. 2 years ago, blistering hot start. This year, great start. And then when the team begins to struggle, Aaron Boone doesn't have the requisite, I don't even know what you call it, the requisite oomph to get the team going, to light a fire under the team. Maybe Aaron Judge needs to get ejected again. Rough. Action VJ says, what's Kevin Cash's contract status? Kevin Cash actually won a World Series with the Yankees. He was on that 2009 team. Ricardo Colon says, or Mike Scioscia. Didn't he get all messed up from the nuclear incident at the Springfield power plant? Anyway, let's take a few comments here.
What do you hear? What do you say?
XNDLY says, Boone is too soft. We don't know that for sure, but I suspect it. I suspect that he is soft. The fact that guys, have episodes where they don't hustle repeatedly, or they, are loafing in the field, and then they play the next day, that shouldn't happen. You should sit for a couple of days if you loaf. It takes no talent to hustle. Dr. Leroy Vankman with the super chat says, Verdugo is Verdungo. We need Spencer Jones. I appreciate the dono. Al Buonanno says, Rodon is a basket case. He definitely lets his emotions get the best of him. That is for sure. He definitely needs to control his emotions better. Val in NY says, when will the suck end? Hopefully this season. I mean, we got too much talent. I'm hoping that Stanton, when he comes back, doesn't have that month that he always has when he comes back for an injury where he stinks. There was some talk today that he might not go on a rehab assignment. And, I just don't want him taking bad at bats for 3 weeks like he always does. I would rather he went to AAA and played for a week and got right, or, even a couple of weeks. Get right before you come up. Get right. We have got to do better. As an organization, we have just got to do better. We got to go out and get some pieces at the deadline. We're missing Dominguez right now, says Mr. Two Thumbs. I agree. They said it's going to be a while for him. Hopefully we'll get him back this season. But Classic Pablo says, Yankees need the Michael Jordan secret stuff bottle from Space Jam.
I'll be over here, winning.
Christian Maldonado says, we need a hitting catcher. There's not a lot of them out there, honestly. But they are extremely valuable. Roman De Los Santos says, Posada would be a great in-house upgrade for a coach. It's interesting that he never wanted to get involved in coaching. A lot of those guys didn't. Brocious has done some coaching. Shane Spencer has done some coaching. Andy Pettit's been kind of like an instructional guy. Roger Clemens has done some guest instructional stuff. But a lot of those guys, I guess after you win so many championships, you just don't have that, I don't want to spend 6 months away from my family to go win another championship as a coach. I've already got, multi-championships. I don't know. All right, let's take a few more comments and wrap it up. Another tough night. Jason Thomas in Lions Den says, Rodon's first inning should be throwing batting practice so he can settle in by the time the real game starts. You joke, but a lot of times when pitchers have first inning problems, they really will throw an actual inning in the bullpen, a simulated inning in the bullpen before the game starts. They'll throw 20 pitches, max effort. They'll simulate a count, hitters, that type of thing. So, maybe they need to do that. Doug Rouse says Robinson Cano and Greg Bird are cooking in the Mexican League right now. I think Robinson Cano's career is probably over. I think he's getting by on just talent right now, just knowing how to hit, but I think he'd be overmatched by big league pitchers. Greg Bird, he's had some shots. Other teams have let him go too. It seemed to me like after the labrum injury, he just couldn't get around on the fastball anymore. William Flores says, give us Cora. We deserve it. I'm sure that the Red Sox are not going to let him go lightly. So, all right. Robert D. Fernandito says, your bald head was discussed by Kay. Update on the bald. I bought an actual head shaver. I'm going to stick with it for a little while. I'm going to grow the beard out. I'm going to be looking like Paul Rosenberg a little bit for a while, or the fat guy from This Is Us. But I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight. I'm about probably 15, at least-ish, maybe 20 pounds over my desired weight. I'm when I'm at my healthiest, I'm at about 180. Right now I'm at about 200. So I've lost a little bit, but I don't want to be like a fat bald guy. I don't want to be Homer Simpson. I'd rather be J.K. Simmons. That's what we're shooting for. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you after tomorrow's game. Oh, by the way, voicemail show will be out early tomorrow morning. I've got a very busy day, so I'm going to get up and do the voicemail stuff like 7 in the morning if there's enough voicemail. So if you're planning to call in, better to do it tonight, and I'll try and get to it in the morning. And I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, we are on a mission for 50,000 subscribers on this channel by the end of the season. When we get there, we're going to give away some cool prizes. We're going to give away an official Yankees pinstripe jersey of your choice, 4 tickets to a Yankees game, plus some NYY Recaps merch. It takes 1 click and it's free. So if you watch every video, double check that you are subscribed. If you love the podcast, subscribe. Heck, even if you hate the podcast, hate me, hate the Yankees, hate my cat, who cares? Subscribe anyway so somebody can win these prizes. And we'll see you next time.
Ball game over.